See how long it takes for YouTube to
Do its thing.
kick on.
At least it's not my old phone. It's screwing up.
There we go. Okay. Go.
Okay. I'll wait till everybody gets in before I start.
They're jumping in. Yeah.
They might want to. They themselves might want to record this tonight.
You're gonna have to watch it a few times. Hi everyone. Keep an eye out for the orbs. They're everywhere today. Busy, busy.
We are active. I'm gonna go. We'll turn down kitty cats. Come on. Yep.
Hey guys. Ohio. Kevin says stoked for information. There's a lot of information tonight, Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah. There is gonna be because there's a lot going on.
Hmm?
So I wait till we get to a certain point, and then we'll go into.
Sure.
So all the downloads that I get, and sometimes when I download them, I write them the way exactly Spirit has them. Not that everybody understands them. So with Chat GPT, I took it and the format, and they translate it into a 3D form, which is going to be easier. But we're going to go over some stuff because we're in an active mode right now of some of these predictions that's going on right now. But we need to look at it in steps that we're dealing with right now. So I went through, I got half the pile done, but I'm only got, I don't know, 5 pages, and just to go through those 5 pages, it's gonna be a long night. So you better get a drink and some snacks, and then
Here we go. We're good.
Right.
That's it.
So because there's a lot of stuff going on. So I want to go into a couple things right away. Washington. Okay. So let's get the view of this again. This, we talked about the city, and I'm want to go over this because there are certain cities that's going to see a lot of this going on. So we're going to be dealing with this a lot. So the main process of this is now isolated areas through the military, barges everywhere that they can't get through, ID check, tents up, filtering, what side they're working for, what information they have, what intel they have. Then they'll decide from there where they need to go. So how do you take your country back? You start to reclaim a certain area, okay? And then from there, everything stretches out from there. This is the thing. When they talk about those 17 cities that are going to be shut down, isolated, and they warned you, get out of them because it is going to be a bad situation. Because they are going to go from door to door, alley to alley, car to car. They know
Hmm.
where they are. And then you're going to have the Trump. You're going to see technology like the drones everywhere, and they're not as big as you guys think they are. That you're going to see them moving and gliding everywhere. Helicopters lower than usual, and then these buses, whether they're black or they are white, they'll be moving back and forth. And this is the main thing: stay out of their way, don't get involved, let them do what they need to do. Um, Now here we go, and some of the downloads we have in there. So let's look at Washington because we were talking about an area of administration for all the collective to come together, which would be the new government as it comes together. And I'm telling you, right this week, you need to be paying attention above Washington, D.C. What's going on, what you're seeing in the sky, all that stuff, what type of lights they're going to have on, everything. Or the fact that they're going to be covering up certain areas also, because they already hinted towards you that Trump is doing a renovation on a new, I'd say, court area, and it's got gold and white, ringing in the golden age. And all I'm waiting for is the golden bell right in front of it,
Right.
because this whole thing is a celebration and where we're going with things. Now, I want to go back to something. I told you, I don't know, 3 years ago about Putin and that he would do a chess move. Well, he did the chess move. And I want to get this verified, but he went in and took all the adrenochrome in Israel.
He did. I saw that. Yep.
He took their supply. What do you think they're going to end up looking like in a couple weeks? They're not going to be looking good. So we're going to go over the predictions on some of this stuff because I went through everything. And this is the thing, you guys. I'm revamping the way I'm doing things administrative wise. Things are going to be faster on how I'm going to be able to get things done because of ChatGPT on some of the formats that I'm able to do. So just expect some change coming. It's just part of what we have to do. So I'm going to start with, let's go with this first download. You guys have already heard some of this, but we translated in an easier source. And then I'm going to pull in the presentation as it affects us to today, because there's a lot of stuff going on. And I told you that's the last war. They are the ones that are been vaxxed to the kills. The zombie process is there. So they're already going in the black titanium boxes. Hold on, I'm going to pull that up. Let's go into that. Try and find that one. Just be patient with me because it's like when you organize all the pictures, then you can't find it.
It's all good. For anyone who's looking for it, I did put a list of the 17 cities in the live chat, so you can scroll through and find it there.
Okay, I need that ring anyway. Okay. There it is. There's the boxes. Okay. So these boxes right here, remember, all over, and I think they were talking about some being present and they're seeing some stuff in the sky and they don't know what it is. And this is the whole stuff that we do not need upon this earth no more, and to contain it. Okay. You want to be looking at this stuff. So the first thing it shows, these black, and this was November 29th, 2022. Black titanium boxes are arriving to remove all alien species being prepared. So architect, for humanity, and this is not the Anunnaki. They are active in the process. So you know what these contain, how they dismantle things, what needs to be put in them, and how they will be um, took to a secured place. It's going to be interesting how this happens.
Hmm.
So, and this is a view from Google on some of this stuff. So, a surreal blend of Earth and high realm structures. A river flows like a rapid. It's rapid and gray rocks, water patterns similar to Utah, Salt Lake. That Salt Lake thing. Here we go back to that again, because that's an area, and I've talked about something that was active a long time ago. We're going back into that activation. Um, so there, I think, is it Utah, but they're hearing sounds in that area. And then this is where it says sounds of multiple horn tones, different frequencies and different beings, alarm and sounding nonstop as it signifies urgent activity. You can't make this up. Just saying. You can't make it up. Um, so, and I'd be paying attention in the air, what's going on with that. So, and in those areas over there, there's land that's cracking open. And I heard that the UK has like a balloon of a hot area underneath the ground that it is surfacing to the top. And I'm going to have to do more research on that, but that's what they're saying, that is surfacing. So that's pretty crazy. So let's go with the rising towards the keys. In the center, visual pink clouds. Here we go with the pink clouds, the golden background, the blue captured high levels co-create to the right, crystalline cities existing in the higher vibration. We're already in that. High intelligence mapping technology, energetic plates into the final position. That is where we're going already. That is where we're going already. So these plates are being pushed. So here we go again, rising towards the keys into the center, visualizing the pink clouds, the gold background, higher, in this co-creator of creator to the right. And so they're telling me the right. And crystalline for crystal cities existing in a higher vibration, higher intelligence, mapping technology, energetic plates into the final position. Do you think we're in it right now? I do.
Yes, most certainly.
Rainbow tones, you know, they're coming into energy lines in the Earth's core showing like a convoy system moving, into position, and artifacts moving upwards. So this is the thing. Are we slowly shifting everything in our past? Is it finally reaching to the top? Are we slowly putting it in the position it needs to be in?
Right.
That's the thing. We don't know. But there's a lot of activity going on. And they're showing, and I've seen this where they show a crack in the earth, and we're talking about California has that crack I talked about in the
Right.
ocean, and all the water disappears and they don't know where it's going. So we're talking about these two different dimensions that we're dealing with on a constant basis, because it's a view, but also it is your conscience of what you're looking at things. So so let's go with the artifacts surfacing in activation mode. Massive structure rising from the mountains, flowing into the crystal cities, held, in a large component. Okay, and then they are removing reptilian energy being moved towards a controlled process. So it makes you wonder where, that whole process of to have when you saw that loosh and you're starting to see it in the sky accumulating, it can't come, I don't think it can come down to the low surface anymore. We're seeing it above in a higher realm, and you're seeing it in the sky and it's circulating because it has nowhere to go anymore. It's not going to go to a light surface because it'll dismantle. So it's
Right.
stuck in this middle dimension. Where is that? What it's going to do? That's going to be interesting. I guess we could stop and ask questions to this point.
Okay, quick break. All right, I have a few. Let's see. Will we see crystal cities, or do we have to be in a different dimension or frequency?
No, because it's like a reflection, and that's the whole thing with your reflection. If you could see through it, so this is the thing. It's just like you know manifestation. I mean, the thing is, we've been so programmed in understanding that 3D is the view of the truth. It's not.
Hmm.
It's not. Everything that's in the truth is your conscience being free of the change of reality and seeing through dimensional realities. That's why it has to do with us ascending. It has to do with uh, creating. It has to do with breaking the chains. It has to do with not being in fear, telling our bodies and ourselves, our bodies, or sorry, our body, and telling ourselves that we don't believe in fear. Cancer, you heard the word cancer, and your cells just go, I'm going to die. All this has to do with the thought process that all they did is try to put fluoride, and in everything that we drank and poison us because they wanted to suppress that. Well, now that's changing. And now we have a choice.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing. So you're going to see some incredible stuff over Washington. It's not going to make sense because there has to be one point in this world where they have to start with this golden age process.
Hmm.
Where else is it going to be?
Right.
When I was looking, I want to, this is, it was interesting when Spirit told me today too, is Stargate in Texas. That's going to be big. What do you think is going to happen there? You know what I think? Your planes are going to be gone. This is going to be a port of things moving in and out very easily.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what I think is happening there. This is the future technology and all this stuff. And I saw this guy complain. He's like, well, the kids are starving and everything's happening, and they're building a facility like this. I'm like, well, that's part of the creation that has to happen to get us into a world to take care of humanity, to have the higher technology and the freedom. That's still that 3D process. And this is a person that's supposed to be spiritually enlightened, but he's putting fear out there. So the thing is, they're putting multi billions of dollars into this facility. Why? Why? Because this has to do with technology changing. They need to keep an eye on that area, and they're calling it, that Stargate. It's an AI revolution with everything: travel, technology, future, all of it. As soon as we get past these stages of things. So it's very interesting of where we're going with this stuff. But also, I think in that process too, it has to do with creating, but manufacturing too. You have to still have a facility to keep it isolated and manufacture what needs to be done too. So it's the same thing. We've got to protect these new technology and new things that are coming out because the 3D mindset doesn't understand this. There's just AI, 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 just fear, fear, fear. And anything that's new, that's not enslavement, then they're going to freak out about. So you're going to keep your eye on Texas, on that Stargater, and you want to keep your eye on Washington because it's not DC no more. It's Washington and how they're going to transform that city. And remember, I said they have to have one city that they're going to transform into the future. What I'm disturbed by is the ground still needs to be cleansed.
Right.
That is my concern. And so in this download, they talk about what was behind Washington in that river. There's something that they're Pacific on this. So let me, you can go into a couple questions and then we'll keep going.
Ready? Let's see. Is the high security on the White House that's happening currently the start of the EBS shutdown?
It's a start, but it's, like I said, it's the new temple. And I don't mean in a way of uh, the meetings of the minds that have to come together, and don't think government in that way because that's being dismantled. Um, and we're talking about the regions coming together in different countries in different ways of how they're going to do that and how they're going to create. And you guys could tell there's at a point of right now in the world there's a balance. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it coming in. You know that the financial system is changing. You know that they're getting arrested. You know that they just arrested, I think it was like 13 doctors the other day.
What was it? Okay.
Just saying. So, I mean, we're dealing with a lot of stuff going on with this whole process. So, those are the two things I would tell you to say, keep your eye on. Is that Stargate facility that they're developing and renovating and changing, and be talking to people that have to work on there and looking at information. Um, and it kind of makes you wonder, is something about to open up that we haven't been able to get through, right? And all of a sudden it's going to open up. How would that happen? That's the whole thing about it. Is it a launch point that we're launching things in a different way into a different place that we couldn't go before, but now we can, you know? It's just, you want to pay attention to how they're building that and what they're doing. So with Washington, it's ringing in the golden age. It has to start from, you know what they said, in Israel, they were talking about how they had to build a new temple, right? Um, and, we're in this process of the golden age, follow the yellow brick road, the whole process of this. Where is it? And the new kingdom, all of this stuff. So this is really a lot for the 3D, but it's all dismantling and creating. And then the XRP goes in, the banks go down, the whole system, and all this whole process is coming in the front screen of showing it. And so it's going to be interesting how, and I don't think it's going to be a hard thing when they actually tackle Washington, because I don't think it has anything to do with crime, and you know it and I know it. Once they're saying one thing, it actually has to do with completely something different that's going on. And it's part of the process.
So a question that just popped up is, so you're saying that Washington won't be destroyed, it'll be remodeled somehow?
Why? And so they've been remodeling, they've been digging, what makes you understand, for a while, because you've seen the reservation around them. So what I'm not comfortable about is what has happened on the grounds.
Right.
So I'm going to be interested in how that could become enlightened. Maybe there's something out there, it's something I would have to look at, but if you're going to take a ground like that, and there has to be some type of cleanse that has to happen before you can build something on there. So I'm wondering, the higher technologies involved in that, or what's going to happen. What's you're talking about uh, creating it into, say, a temple in a different way, because it has to do with the meetings of the minds, but it has to do with representing. And this is the thing I talked about, the star. There was a star that was going to represent the golden age,
Hmm.
and I think we'll go into what they talk about, the buildings and everything else.
Okay. All right. So I have a couple folks asking about Texas. Do you know where the Stargates are in Texas?
I'll have to
Where?
look it up, but if I'm
Okay.
sure you could find it, right? Because it's. I don't think you can miss that renovation that's going on. What I saw on it and everything. So, um,
And
I mean,
who's in control of that particular Stargate?
you know, you know, Elon,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
you know. Yes. So, so the structure of how they're. This is the thing too. We need to look at the structure of how they're going to build things. They're not going to build it in a 3D process either.
Mhm.
You know, they're not building ships, anything like that, in a 3D process either. So all the structure of cities and how they're formed and they're energy efficient and right by nature, being able to create and blossom in nature too. The golden age has to do with our planet taking care of that too. So it's going to be interesting how this ends up forming. So yeah, it's just we're in this process. It's crazy, huh?
It's definitely interesting to witness, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we can kind of look at that. Move
So
on to the next question if you want.
spirits are messing with your camera. Um, so someone's asking, will Texas be the first state to secede from the Union with
Union.
all that's going on?
Okay, well, we're going into four regions.
Oh, correct.
Okay, so I don't see it now. I think that was a timeline, but I don't think that is in that format of that way, because if you look at Mexico, Australia, United States, and Canada, I mean,
Hmm.
it wouldn't make any sense right in the middle have Texas be on its
Right.
own.
Okay. Thank you. Are all the current evil spirits leaving the planet?
Well, that's what I'm talking about with the loosh
Those boxes
above,
too.
and I'm wondering. That's why I'm saying it. Can they not get down to a certain level now that's close to Earth? What is happening with that, and why you're seeing it above? And I would be interested in seeing if they see anything around that loosh, or what you're seeing it accumulate in one area. It's going to be interesting how that happens.
Mm, right.
I would like to, if people catch pictures of that, it'd be interesting to have it, and like people have sent it to me, but to see more of it, to see how it will dismantle. Okay, purpose of the operation to bring devices, artifacts that can create, and harness energy. This is where we just talked about relocate to secured areas similar to ancestor period pyramid function. This describes Washington right now, right? It's
Hmm.
saying this was in
When was that?
22.
2022.
Yep. So bring devices and artifacts that can create any harmless energy, relocate into secure areas similar to ancestor pyramid functions. So titanium, remember those titanium, I call them the titanium slim boxes that you see presenting in the desert, and you've seen them everywhere, and no one knows where they're coming from. And I believe it's like these points that we have to have between the pyramids and the ley lines, going back into this, using the Earth's natural frequency instead of hiding it in the ground. It's going to be interesting in how those are used and activated. So they're talking about those black titanium, elongated boxes that you're finding them in the desert. They found them in many places. And then the active containment of remover all alien species of storage of sensitive technology, and how they're going to remove those. So here they talk about titanium shimmering, those shimmer ones, because they look more like a key device. That's what I think they are. They're turning something on. We're going into the Indiana Jones process here with everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the Goonies. Another, it's holding information already is the keys to these boxes. You know, so these devices, the strategy, placing them across the earth the way they have, like a puzzle, like a podium of light, what is happening with this whole process. Look, we got through one page.
It only took a half
Um,
hour. We're doing great.
so this has the Golden City arrival, the path to that. So when you break that down on these phases of everything, physical manifestation, final stage, the Golden City, uh, and then it rises physically, it surfaces to pure light and circulates visually. So physical manifestation, the final stage on that. Phase 3, key reactivation, pending, about to begin. The key activations, the golden stairs, ascending to the golden chest that's open to relate to the converting to life. Where's the golden chest? On the debt clock.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Hmm.
So the keys are retrieved. The golden stairs are, they have ascended to that process. We already know who ascended up those chairs. I mean, those stairs. And then the golden chest is open and released and converted to golden light. Are we at that phase? We don't know yet about that one. I'm pretty sure about the fourth one. Energetic structure shift in progress now. Earth adjustment, environmental restoration, light circular motion, formation, creating, and releasing. Everything is releasing. Everything's adjusting on Earth. The environmental restoration, lights, circulating, motion. It's in progress.
Hmm. Yeah.
We're in progress of that. So it's just interesting how that's changing. Okay, so
And it's
let's.
interesting how there's people saying there's nothing happening. Those people think there's nothing happening.
Oh, everything's good. Be in denial about everything. So let's go to this. And if you remember this, it's a golden ring. And was interesting because it had a circular motion, right? This is another thing you should be paying attention to, because this is the thing. They didn't seem like normal stones or anything like that. They had this bluish crystallus process, and people don't understand why they're seeing blue water out of the sky and they're seeing chunks of ice, and they don't understand where all this is coming from.
Right.
But this has to do where we're at, what's happening, what are we creating, what's changing. It shows the color of the clouds too, but the whole process of that, golden ring on that. So us paying attention to what's going on. So to me, looking at Washington, looking at the level that they're doing everything, I'd be like, look above, pay attention to what's going on above, and I'd be like having camera on everything about that. Okay.
I wonder what the weather's been like there if they're covering the, you know, sky with clouds so people can't see anything. I would love to
I don't know. I'm sure there's people in the area on that too. So um so let's go into the city raising, clearing the planet. When the great structure pyramid ley lines and plates align, the big cities will stand above everything else. The focus is removing all negative from the planet. Here we are. To raise and rise these cities.
Mm-hmm.
This alarm have already been sounded off. So let me read this again. When the great structure of pyramids, ley lines, plates align in the big cities will stand above everything else. The focus is on removing all the negative from the planet. So those can't happen. There's a certain point of everything here. The negative has to be dismantled on every process before the golden age is up to 100% capability on things. Um, so then they talk about this is in 20. This one's in 22. By the way, too. This is the other prediction. Um, the alarms have already been sounded. Each mountain volcano moves into place as it is a part of the massive puzzle. And that's the thing you're talking about the um, what do you call it? Fire, the ring of fire. Okay, how
Mm-hmm.
that's changing and
Ring of
how
fire,
that's in
yeah.
an activation mode, and you're seeing that happen, and everything's changing. And they're seeing mountains change, they're seeing shifting, they're seeing mudslides, and now they're seeing a big fireball that's under the UK. You
Okay.
know, so I'm wondering, we got to be paying attention to what's going on. It's like you get up every morning and you don't know what the world's going to do.
No,
No,
we don't.
not at all. It is turned into just a active mode of everything, and like it's got its own agenda, and it doesn't matter that we're on it. It's moving, it's shifting, and this is I want to talk about too. So the reason why I have the whales on there because they want you to focus on this whole fake story that this girl died and she got killed by a whale. We found out that was all fake. Why are they having you focus on that? Because this is the thing. Whales, they're sensitive to anything that changes upon this earth in any activation process. So you want to look at, they're having you focus on them, but I'd be looking on the outside of everything with them that they're attached to that's important because it's one of those things that I'm very sensitive to feeling and being around. So, there's stuff going on, and a lot of the stuff you're seeing, or they're making stories, and it looks really good from an AI point, but it's not real. It's been
No, it's not.
debunked
Yeah.
several times, and that's why, like, why are they having you focus on that? What is coming? Keep an eye on the water. That's the whole process in this. So it's something that needs to be tuned into and pay attention on the outskirts of things. Okay, so here we go with the dismantling of the old and releasing of all the hidden items. Here we go with uh, will be releasing by the flight and the inner peace of allowing the circle of light to be formed. The one whole, no one can interfere in this process. So basically, there's no interference from man on this process whatsoever. So whatever's kept underground is going to be released. It'll bring inner peace and allow the circle of light to be formed. So it's, and the referencing to the Galaxy Federation is a reference point with that for humanity in the role. Focus on the personal ascending patterns. Remember the sky structure, white and gold pyramids. So they talk about and I don't bring up the Galaxy Federation because very few refer to that. But there's a role with them in humanity and personally ascending and remembering to look at the sky structure, white and gold pyramids. So then we go to the Golden City. Once tried to to convert it from being fulfilled, but that now it is time to brought into the Golden City. Climb to the highest to connect to the next stage of being in the knowledge. So it's a fulfillment. You know, at some point we tried to get to this process before, but now it is brought into the Golden City, and which I think with this whole process with Trump building this room, it has a lot to do with their position and how it's going to be set. So you have to climb to a certain level to get into that stages of the knowledge. See, it's all about knowledge now versus PhD.
Right.
So we take some more questions.
Okay, so folks are asking about the whales. They're hearing that they've stopped singing.
So this is the thing. Why do they have you focused on a fake story? Because every time they have you focus on something, that's not really what's going on. There's something beyond that. So you want to pay attention to the water. So the whales are the Lion King of the ocean. They are. They're the system of frequency. They're in tune to it. Things that are very sensitive. And there's stuff happening in your oceans that they are trying to show you and say, hey, this isn't normal. Things are changing. And you're seeing this with dolphins too. So that's the whole thing. So if this crack happens, it makes you wonder what's going to happen in that whole process with them. And this is the thing too that I talked about this. I have it on here. These animals, like they're talking about the bears and all the land animals and the whales, is a frequency, a calling. And if they start to stand at attention and they start to go in a direction that's going to tell you something major is happening, because nature already tells you when something is happening. They're in tune to that already before something hits. Yep. They're talking to you and they're telling you something big is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole process with this. It's changing. So it goes, the keys are the center of everything that holds the stone, that keeps the keys, and we travel upward. The golden steps that leads to the art of the covenant. It's not on here on earth. There is no one that can stand by it unless they got incinerated. I'm just saying. Read the biblical term on that one. I'm like, I'd like to see that. You just get Put someone there right by it is very negative. I would like to see what it does to them. Incineration in seconds. So anybody that says
Yeah.
they are close to the Art of Covenant, I'd like to see it. Just stand right by there, and I want to see it because if you read the terms
Hmm.
on that, it has to be a special person that has special energy that can withstand that frequency. And of course, it's all on your intentions, purity, goodness. So I'm just saying, but I would like to
Right.
see that, whoever that is. Um, the golden city existence in the planet, but will shine like the sun that is above and below the stimulation. What's a simulation? Matrix? So above, so below.
I would think so. Yes.
The Art of Covenant is kept in a golden chest, carries by either two sparrows and two eagles. The keys are not needed to open the box. One must walk up to the golden stairs to reach it. The keys themselves resemble the dream catcher, the edge of the golden age. I just downloaded it, doesn't mean I understand everything.
Hmm.
So
That's okay. We don't have to understand everything.
all I know is
It'll
everything with
all.
gold now. Golden age, we want the gold up, we want silver up, we want everything up, we want XRP up, we want new housing, which is great. That news about North Carolina, they're spending money, putting money into those for housing for the people that have been living in Swallow for a long time.
Yeah.
So I hope they get the houses they need, and I hope they spend tons of money on that situation. And that's another area you need to keep your eye on everything. Um,
Well, we have a whale question too. Do they help maintain coherence between the ocean's EMF field and the ley lines?
I think so because I think they're in
Whales?
tune to that because that's the whole thing about this, and this is where we go back to the giants and the Vikings and the natives and all that stuff and how they came around, especially the ley lines, you know,
Hmm.
um, and when they and the serpent mounds, they were around the serpent mounds because there was energy and there's frequency, and they wanted to contain it in a certain way. So yes, I do believe that, and that's the whole thing. Here we go. So I did the drawing. So here we have our natural way of all our ley lines. You know, tell me this doesn't do a damn thing for our Earth and it's just sitting there not doing a damn thing? I don't think so. Right? It looks like a lot of energy. And then tapped in.
Well, we have a question about the ley lines
Okay, go
too.
ahead.
Is there is there a certain percentage of ley lines that are actually activated at the moment?
I believe so. And they said that, I mean, and I've been
Have an
around one, and at certain times it's strong, and so the serpent mounds are activated too. So so you put the ley lines together, and then you put the pyramids together, and you put the temples together. Remember they talked about the temples having energy flow through them and built a certain way. And then what's that in the middle is that center of the earth, because they don't want anybody to see that, the inner earth, and
course not.
everything is connected. So, and that's the thing. I mean, we're in a activation mode on this whole process, you know.
Hmm.
And then we just came through all these storms that they had and cleansing all these areas out and doing all that. Again, you can't go into these stages of the golden age with all this negative stuff happening on our ground. It just can't happen. Okay.
Well, it's getting there. A little more cleaning to do, huh?
Yeah, we do. And that's why when he starts in these 17 cities, okay, so that's where your areas that really need to be cleansed out. And that's not where they have cleaned up the big portion of things that need to be cleaned up. But we have to go after the states now. And you have to call the states
Mm-hmm.
out on what they're doing. And you have to go in where they're at. And you have to go into the gut of them and pull them out, whether you carry them out and lock them up, whatever you got to do. And that's what's happening. So you want to watch what happens in Washington, what they're doing in the surrounding area of Washington. Is it to start that dismantling phases? Are they going into the pit of it all to cleanse them out? Is there something going on that they have to get in there and dismantle before phases start to get, say, creating? It needs to be done. But like again, I think this is all a cover up in a certain way. Um, so we're gonna see what happens. So let's go into the inner sun vision. A powerful source of energy is descending upon the earth to heal and renew every area touched by darkness. This is in 2023 when I did this one. So, powerful source of energy is descending upon earth to heal and renew every area touched by darkness. A light wave must sweep through the world, touching every planet, animal, and living being that carries the Creator's transformation. Light beings, light energy, souls, not
Right.
NPCs. So here we go again. A powerful source of energy is descending upon Earth to heal and renew every area touched by darkness. I'm going to tell you what's going on in Canada. Let me tell you about that one, Linda. Let me tell you about that one. They don't want you in the woods in Canada. They don't want you in the woods. Why? They don't want you to be being nosy what's going on and seeing things that they. If you wanted to hide somewhere, if you needed to hide things that are coming into our atmosphere, that would be a good place to hide it. I'm just saying. This has nothing to do with the animals. This has nothing to do with camping. It has nothing to do with fires because there is no fire. This has to do with it's a big cloak to hide things if you wanted to. So I'm just telling you, there's a lot to do with that. So, and then again, people can be looking at things at night in Canada, paying attention to the stars, seeing what they see in emotion, movement, or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back. So the light wave must sweep through the world, touching every planet, animal, living being, and carrying the Creator's transformation. Will happen instantly. Not going to take forever. Changing all into their true being of pure love. Once again, it is also closes the gap in humanity awareness to reconnect to their true self. So here we go into the changing all into their true being, their pure love, once again, and is also closed the gap between humanity in that, that darkness that closes it down, puts you in that awareness, and reconnects all to their true self. So they go, Linda, stay distracted here and stay distracted here and look down over here and look at here. And don't pay attention what you're supposed to be doing or feeling or being passed out in the middle of the afternoon and not wanting to go to to Wally World around people at all because it irritates you. I'm just telling you. And then you're seeing people on the highway or the roads, driving like crazy. Don't want to be on the bridge on these with these NPCs either. So don't pay attention to that though.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to those big shovels in Washington if they appear. And if you see big bags of loads of trucks that are carrying big body bags, pay attention to that.
Colleen's saying that they want to fine them $25,000 if caught in the forest in Nova Scotia.
What does that tell you? They don't want anybody in that area.
Yeah.
Why is that? Does that make sense at all? All of a sudden,
No.
no. And like I said, I don't think, everybody thinks that, Canada is Canada. Well, I think it happened, I don't know, 2 months ago that we already took over Canada. And now certain things, that certain area is going to be a hidden area. So whatever moves in that motion, and they don't want anybody to see anything, or witness. So it's like, how do they treat that? What do you call it? Area 51? They're treating it like Area 51, right? You can't go in there. You can't drive there. It's all isolated. What are they going to build there? Again, just saying. Is it that new wooded Area 51?
Maybe.
That's what they should ask. Is this the new Area 51? I'm just saying, because to get fined that big, and they don't want you to see anything. What is it that they don't want you to see? That you have not already seen how bad it can be in Canada as it is. So it's not fires. It's not water. It's not rain. It's not a slaughter. What's going on? The supernatural process. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Yeah. We're just going to see more and more of this.
Yes, we are.
We not?
But everybody, like I said, what they want you to focus on, and then you need to be looking out the outskirts of it, or looking up, or looking down, or paying attention to other stuff versus anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a highly intense source of energy located deep in Earth, which we all know, right? I guess we don't talk about it. Above a plates that are circular. We know. I got them. And I think I have the other plate too. We talked about these, right? These plates.
Right.
And then, because they showed that they had teeth on them on that process. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. There it is. So this looks like teeth. It shifts into things. Then we're talking about these plates. So there's a highly intense source of energy located deep within the Earth. So how this opens and how above and places these circular. But these are supposed to be active, and then they're supposed to surface. So the sky, paying attention in the sky again, where you're having these plates, and I've had some people verify Florida is one area, California is one, and then they said that Africa was another. So I'm wondering about these. So they talk about in the sky, and they're talking about the Red Canyon. I don't know what's going on in, where is it they're burning now?
Several places are burning. There's lots of fires in California, more in Southern California, some in Canada.
Mm-hmm. So when they're talking about red soil, so that this would you need to pay attention to the sky um, beneath the surface, about 10 levels down. Grand Canyon. They just remind me. Isn't there a fire going on right there?
I'm not sure. Maybe someone in the chat
Is
knows.
there a fire in the Grand Canyon? And that's been going on for a while. Beneath the surface, about 10 levels down, lies a vast valley that is lined with stone walls and crystals. It's the first area blue, a field of high vibration. Beyond the blue, there is a lake of that is red. There's a, because I'm pretty sure I saw it. So they're talking about a living sphere of energy. The sun must be um, it has to be the real sun, not the sun. So the living sphere of the energy of the sun. So is the sun a sphere? So so it has to be at a full capability in the climate in the area that is warm and it stores light. Does that tell you that we want the real sun, not the fake light bulb
Yes.
that we're dealing with right now?
LED bulb, right?
Huh?
The LED
Yeah.
bulb that's in the sky.
So none of us enjoy going out and sitting in, and you don't get anything from that. Um, on I want you to pay attention in Washington too, in these blue states, as they're going to lock down those banks because they're not going to have access to them. And the first thing when stuff happens, they freak out. So, I mean, online would be the key to everything, but you're not going to be able to go to a physical bank as we're going through this process. So then, let's move on to another one. Oh, it's only been an hour.
Oh, just so you know, folks are saying there's a fire in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's what I'm
also
saying. And they talked about that area, which, to have a fire in that area, burning the way it has, and how long it's burned, and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another one. Okay, so this is a weak message download. This is 2023 too. Plasma energy forming. A wave of new energy is taking over. You could feel it in the beginning, like an envelope opening up, releasing all control, rules, attachments to the 3D mindset. It's opening. And we're not in fear. We're not afraid to do anything, say anything anymore. It's those ways that we have been programmed is just falling to the side on the process. So then they go into separation of levels. Normal humans will remain in their current level of understanding, allowing them to stay in their 3D window. Within this time frame, the waters, symbolizing literally, they're showing water, will show their true self, their true power. So, water. So, allowing to stay in their 3D. So, I want you to look at this. So, it's like staying in the conscience of 3D, and there's a water activation mode happening at the same time this is happening. That they're not in the 5D process. They're not accepting change. Let me go back to this. So allowing them to stay in their 3D window within the time frame of the water, symbolizing literally. So there's something coming, with in that time frame that will show in the water the true self. So is that related to the 5D people, or is that related to the 3D people that are asleep? What are they going to see in the 3D that relates to the water?
Right.
True power is revealed soon. You will see true power emerge, allowing your mind and your heart to open fully. So that would be us in the 5D, going into that true energy of acceptance and not into fear again, and not putting yourself in cancer, I'm dying, and the cells are saying, okay, we're going to die because you're submitting to death. So we have to stay in that higher frequency mindset. Structure that have held control will be dismantled. You will soon witness what has been hidden in plain sight. Remember? Washington, watch everything. Watch the symbols, watch the bridges, watch the pyramid, watch how people act right in front of you. You got to pay attention to the little details. People walking among you were part of the control. NPC? The light is the first flash, the first sight that you will see. So are we getting the flash in the 3D, or are we getting the flash that ignites our selves, higher selves? There's two ways you look at this, because everybody's obsessed with the flash. It's going to happen, right?
Yes.
And this is showing it depends on how you're looking and perceiving things, and if you're in fear or if you're not in fear, how you're going to perceive it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Signs of change. Listen to the outside sounds. There will be a shift in frequency and tone. The timeline will jump. You will know when it is done by sudden change in colors and scent in the air. A real breeze comes from all corners of the earth. A full planetary movement and escape from control.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So listening to the outside sound, there will be a shift of frequency and tone. The timeline will jump, and you will know when it is done by sudden changes in colors and scent in the air. A real breeze will come from all corners of the earth. So what are the corners? Remember I talked about the real corners, not just the contained corners, the real corners, because that breeze of fresh air, because we haven't had it, it's been poisoned air.
Mm-hmm.
Can anybody imagine or remember fresh air, fresh breeze, like rain, and how that freshness comes in? Huh? It's been a while.
No,
It's
it's been a
been a
long
long
time.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so listening to the outside sound, there will be a shift in frequency and tone. The timeline will jump. You will know when it is done by the sudden change in color and scent in the air. A real breeze will come from all corners of the earth. Full planetary movement and escape from the control. And here's the final sign on that one. A bell will ring again. The time is to awaken everything and everyone that is still asleep.
Confirmation chills on that one.
Right? Let's see. We still have two more to go.
All right, we're on a roll. It's good. I'm sure everyone liked to hear more.
So, and then that's the whole thing is you get people to pay attention to just the littlest details. And then when they're telling you one thing, you're looking in the other direction, you're wondering what's going on. You want to look at semis going into Washington, equipment being moved into Washington at night, everything covered up, security that they're having extra. They're going to move everything at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Right.
We can take a couple questions before I move on to the.
All righty. Thank you. So we have a couple of dragon questions. Red dragons. And one of the main ones is that the Russian 8.8 earthquake released a mega red dragon from underground in that area after being in stasis for 12,000 years. What are your thoughts?
This is the thing. And remember, I talked about Israel. I wonder if it's in this one where it talks about the precious creatures that have been contained underground. Remember? And this is the thing. And I never believed the dinosaur thing. I was just like, this doesn't make sense to me. This whole dinosaur thing, because we all bought into that. I mean, to a certain point, but I just never. I always
Right.
feel something that has to feel right. It has to feel genuine. It was like it's off on things because I never had downloads. I never had dreams about dinosaurs ever. I had dreams about bigger creatures and giants and um, dragons, but I never had any dreams about dinosaurs because I just didn't see it. So yeah, it raised a red flag on things. So what I want is I want the bones. I want to see the bare bones, and I know that they had. I've seen a couple that they've actually dug up the bones, which they're showing now. But it's going to be interesting how that unfolds. In Harry Potter movie, how they put the truth in front of you and tell you,
Yeah.
and they have to. But we're looking in another direction and they're telling a story and we're not accepting. If I were you, and I would be telling people, well, you need to watch Harry Potter all over again and be there with notes and pay attention what they're trying to tell you.
Yeah. That seems to be a lot with all these movies, not just for entertainment. Now you got to look at it as in a behind the scenes learning
Right.
event.
So let's move on to this one. Okay. So it's this. This is about the journey to the temple, a place of the awakening gathering. The structure to ask about the keys, the symbolism access point to understanding and unlocking what is coming. The focus is on the awakened ones, those who are spiritual, and they're already in that process, and their images, and there is a ladder already forming for their path. So it rings in the awareness. The left side represents what must be awakened. So, setting in messages, this is about the journey of a temple, a place of the awakening and gathering. Let's go back to Washington. Hold on, let me grab her and think about that right there on the temple. We have to create a new one. She's upset.
Or a puppy dog.
Come on in.
Here we go. The little star.
There she goes.
She's made her
She
entrance.
did.
She made her little entrance.
So this is about the journey to the temple. Okay, let's take the temple. Let's take Washington. A place of awakening and gathering. Washington. The instructions to ask about the keys, which is symbolic access to points of understanding and unlocking what is coming and focusing on the awakened ones who are spiritual and not asleep. What happens in a temple? What a
Yep.
knowledge, creativity, the meanings of the minds, councils, all this stuff. We're creating a new world, and it's making and creating a ladder to abundance. So it creates awareness. And then they say the left side represents what must be awakened. So basically, this is going to be interesting how this is placed, or how the structure of how they change things, all of this. What they tear down, what they create there. I'd be looking at the same place of where Elon is creating this new Stargate. The message is given for when the water symbolizes literally a rise. The message is given when the water symbolizes literally rising, is connected to the harvest and bringing the great mark that is located, or a sign there is something important to be found. It is indicating a junction point between the mind, heaven, and the body of earth. Well, that's going to be a mental twister on this one. Message is given for when the water symbolizes literally rises. This connects to the harvest and bringing the great mark that is located, a sign where something important will be found. What do you think? You know what? Ask them, what do you guys think is going to be found? It'd be interesting,
Good
right?
question.
An indication of a junction point between the mind of the heaven and the body of the earth. So it says call to action. People need to open up themselves to a full truth and meet the physical on earth aligned with the spirit. This is as it should be. The time to refer to this reference, possibly triggering alignment point. People need to open themselves to the full truth and meet the physical, which is the flesh and the spirit, and align with earth. This should, as it should be, a time reference, possibly trigger an alignment point. Sleepers unaware of the dormant individual. Nice. That's a sleeper,
Okay.
unaware, dormant individual. Dark, cold, a period of low energy and a spiritual testing. Looking through the glass, perception, intuitive, and seeing beyond the veil. Wise woman, courage, guidance, peace, and holding the light. So we always have to look through the glass, the perception, and see beyond the veil, and be wise about it, and courage, and guidance, and peace, and holding that light. So then let's go to an activation of sensitivity. Feeling a pull backwards as we are being guided into an alignment with purpose, a call to to the show. So you show yourself in the steps of visibility. Feeling the pullback as you are being guided into the alignment of your purpose, a call to your show. Step into your visibility. My camera's starting again. So that is an activation process. The connection and strength when standing between the energy that is warm in the sun above the clarity. The real sun, I would say, right? Not that fake light that they have. You know, this is going to get bad because I have all these predictions and then I line it all this way. It's never going to be the same again.
Yeah.
um, so as we are being guided into the alignment with purpose. So here we go with the orange, the blue energy, possibly representing being included in an alien higher intelligence, the color blue, which we all that all always sets in that level, possibly representing the beings, including alien and a higher intelligence, the blue color, linked to communication and transformation and information.
Mm-hmm.
Sun rising and multiple circulation bands, a sign of cosmo alignment in the event. An invitation to take your rightful position and role. Here we go into the golden chair. The golden chair is a readiness to receive wisdom and responsibility. Intuitive cycle, a container of abundance, energy, possibility connected to offering golden light, foundation of truth and power and source. Who's going to be sitting in that golden chair? We all know, because I've been waiting for his ass to sit in that chair for a long time and maybe be sitting in Washington in that temple and sit in that damn chair and ring that damn bell.
Next to the bell, right? So I was going to say that.
I'm just saying, get it over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the damn bell.
Mm-hmm.
So, what they say. So remember, in the sun, there was those rings. There's those 3 rings I had. A drawing of 3 rings, 1, 2, 3. And it's a circle bound around it. And a sign of the cosmos, a line event. So what are the 3 rings around the sun? So the sun rings are multiple circular bands. The sign is the cosmos alignment around. And all I saw was the sun and then 3 lines that go across. It's going to be interesting. Somebody have questions?
There's plenty of questions. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Gonna take a couple. Okay. Will T and Putin's meeting accelerate the timeline?
Will T and who?
Putin.
Oh,
Will their
hail
meeting
to the
accelerate?
yeah. So remember the four corners, the four regions,
Mhm.
right? Four need to be together.
Mhm.
So I'll be another one, and I where are they meeting up? I can't remember. Are they meeting in the States?
I I don't
Anybody
know.
know?
If someone knows, let us
Let us
know.
know. We need cameras above.
Uh,
Paying attention to everything.
we need our own drones. uh,
So,
um,
yeah, I want to know where they're supposed to be meeting. So,
okay.
so we have to look at the sun with three lines across the sun. So my intuition on that are three different colors that are coming across the sun. I don't think there's going to be lines, but I do think there are going to be significant colors that mean something across the sun,
Mhm.
and they have that for so symbol and action because it represents symbol and action. The sun rings multiple circled bands around it, the sign that the cosmos is aligned in the event.
Mhm.
They also were talking about that star, the new star that, that is the symbolism of the golden age, that we're going to see it at night. So it's funny how the chair, that chair, the door, the chair. You have a picture of the, and I don't want to dig that
One.
up, which has the yeah.
Oh, by the way, that meeting is Friday in Alaska.
Huh, interesting to be paying
Yes.
attention. A lot of things going on there, so it makes sense as neutral ground.
You want the golden chair? Is that what you're looking
Yes,
for?
so we can understand what it means.
Let's see.
I can tell you,
Yep,
Kim
let's
Gogan didn't
see.
sit in that chair.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, let me look at it.
That's your chair. That the one you want?
Yes, it is. Okay,
Okay.
so when we go with this chair, this is the whole thing about this. Let me just reference to this. So here you have the gatekeepers, which is always the lions, which is, what is it? They are the in control of the kingdom upon the land, right? And then you have
Mhm.
the key is at the bottom here. If they all pay attention, the key. And Trump's been carrying the key. When did I do this? 2 years ago? This drawing?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
it's been
Yeah,
a
this was a
while.
while ago.
And then the gold at the bottom, as they show gold slanted up again, showing the growth of it. Um,
Mhm.
and then the golden chair. Now, the chair is not about sitting in it, it's about activating it and what comes from it, the abundance. But there's only one person that can activate that. So this is the first thing. If there's a chair in this new place in Washington and there are lions at the bottom and the top, we know we got it. It's like, got it.
You're right.
We got to figure it out. So there's stair steps to that. It's literally um, uh, it's about the guardian, and the chosen one that can sit, and also the chess pieces, right? The chess piece.
Yep.
That's the whole thing.
Mhm.
So that's the whole thing about that whole process of this. And we know it's not Kim Gogan.
Yeah.
So we already know who it is. So the whole process, and he's carrying the key like it says, "My key. You see this? My key. This is the same damn key." So yeah.
Right.
So that has to be in an activation mode. You know, um, it's here. before, just above that, this is a funny reference. It says male orange. And how do they see Trump?
Right.
Orange.
Right.
Just saying.
Orange man. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go into the sun. The sun rings
I have to
multiple circle bands, a sign that the cosmos align in this event. So is this event going to happen when they're going to meet, or is it going to happen in Washington?
True.
That's a very interesting question.
I apologize. I have to step away for 1 second. I also have a
Mhm.
dog that needs attention. I'll be right back.
So then they go into containing the energy possible connected to preventing or offering negative energy to the foundation of the truth and the light. So that is denial. You've been denied access. So the final instructions on this is to meet the standards, empty the throne of the unworthy rulers, and replace those aligned with the truth and the messengers that prepare the chairs, not just a chair, the chairs that seat in the authority for those who are meant to occupy them. And we're just at the golden chair. Interesting. I know she's still in the show. She got her hair groomed and she wants to go on a walk, and I'm not doing that yet. But she's going to have to wait. I can let her out. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. Let's move on to the next. Okay. She's still gone. Let me take this down now. Okay. We're going back in here. Okay, now I'm going to move down to the main message, which is the shift and the approach. Both the truth and the revelation in the system people rely on. A period ahead of time that requires people to stand firm. Do not sway, do not be in fear, or be controlled by misinformation. Remain in your anchor in your truth. And we're kind of in those times in these days. It's the dog thing. I don't know
Sorry,
what's going
puppies.
on.
It's a dog. Sorry. They gotta go. They gotta go.
Right? She just wants to go on a walk. So the main message is the major shift is approaching both in truth revelations of the system people are relying on in the period ahead of times to require people to stand firm, not to sway, not to be in fear, and not to be in misinformation, and remain an anchor of truth. Okay, so truth and exposure. So this is an event and warning. Truth and exposure. We are entering into a phase where no more truth will be revealed. So they're going to shut down for a little bit, and you're not going to hear anything. The media is not going to tell you anything, and they're like, what's going on? It's going to be into a new phase of things. We are entering into a new phase. So their truth, their lies, their deception, their media, we're not going to be in that process. Once money is fully in our control, they're going to try to move quick. They're going to try to scam or whatever they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Use distractions and fear to keep people from these stages of enlightenment to be rolled out soon, intending to control the narrative. Are we, we're kind of in that already, going in that process. So, what do you do? Are we there?
Right.
Once money is fully in their control, once money is not fully in their control, they will try to move quickly. Use distractions and fear to keep people from their abundance and tend to control the narrative. So another process is coming. So they talked about two, which is a financial trigger, a dark system plan involving removing current money, replacing it with controlled versions. ATM systems will change. New symbols will appear once they have changed the current system. Physical cash will lose its value quickly. So we know that that's happening.
Yes.
This will disrupt the payments, causing pause, in many ways. And that's the thing, especially with the 17 cities, you're going to see that. And I don't think you're going to be able to access the banks or anything. If people are going to be in panic mode, in freak out mode, there's just no way. There are going to be white trucks and white buses everywhere.
Right.
On everything. So physical cash will lose its value quickly. And it'll disrupt payments, causing pause. Okay. So they're installing more cameras above the cities. Wonder where that's at. Wonder. Democratic cities? Maybe? Part of a new stage of surveillance. Their intention is to watch, record, control movement. This is another trigger that used, to target us. This is the stuff that they were trying to do. This is the stuff that you saw that they were trying to implement.
Mm-hmm.
This has to do with control, their moves, financial triggers, whatever they could do. In this active mode, and so they have the environmental disruption, a volcano, earthquakes. These will be used to emphasize and create fear, justifying underground areas, going after the underground areas, including tunnels that are unstable. Intense collapse will occur. And that is what's happened. So you got the earthquakes, the volcanoes. There will be created. It creates fear, and they use it as justifying. And it is about the underground areas, including the tunnels, exposing intense collapse may occur. Any questions?
There's always questions. Let's see.
So then we go with the dark path movement. And this is what we've all avoided. The dark force are retreating and hiding, coordinating, going deeper underground into hidden areas. Will not be exposed by light. And they are withdrawing. It is the final season of their movie. And they always thought that they can go in ground and hide. Whatever they did to us wasn't going to happen. So this is the thing that they bring up the blue stone, the blue color. The mark appears possible connected to the crack that breaks and splits into the stone,
Hmm.
the crack above the light that will be exposed. So the bottom line is they are preparing to roll out a highly controlled financial system linked to surveillance. That's what they were wanting to do. This comes at stages of distraction, media events, disasters, and crisis to keep people from seeing the truth. The physical money will lose value quick once to switch it out happens. The dark side, they will move into hiding, but will attempt, but will not succeed. Watch the environmental events being used as fear tactics. I can't talk. I have two sore um, open sores in my mouth right now for biting my tongue. The blue stone is a symbolic, literally mark this phase of activation. So when we talked about the blue stone, and I've said it a million times about that stone, the blue stone,
Mm-hmm.
what it creates, what it
Right.
symbolizes, what it brings in. So in all these, what they try to control in every way, and we still are here, we're still alive, we're still in this process, we're still here. After all the
Mm-hmm.
shit they did, we're still here. Okay, now I can take questions. I'm done with that.
Okay. So folks are asking questions about some volcanoes. One in Arizona.
What?
Is there one in There's what about the volcanoes in
I
Arizona?
haven't heard. I can look, but I've never even know that there was a volcano in Arizona.
Wouldn't be surprised. You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah, everything's a lie anyway. So that.
I know. Um, Anything on the Mount Rainier volcano?
Where is that?
I am not sure. Sandra, let us know where that is, please.
They want to know what my beef is with Kim Gogan. That she is not the chosen one. She is not the chosen one for the chair, and I don't like the way that she has tried to represent Trump, and Trump dismissed her. So no, you'll see at the end, as they say, just a human.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Do you have a percentage of how many tunnels are left that they need to take care of?
Percentage. Let me ask.
Thank you.
And they're saying we're at 75%, so that is like 25% left.
That's good. A few folks are asking if you can elaborate on the blue stone.
Wait, how long have we been talking about the bluestone for? Like forever.
I know.
All I'm gonna tell you is you see.
You got you have some new folks,
Okay,
so.
all I have to say is I've seen it for a long time, and they're talking about the waters from above and the waters from below. That it gets to a certain substance and it gets hard, and it's worth of value. So if you see a bunch of my people in their yard picking that shit up and put it in the bucket, I'll pick that up for you. Don't worry, it's just worth
Yeah.
a lot of money. So yeah, it's a blue stone, and I call it sky stone, water stone, and then how it is created and all that stuff. But it's an aqua blue, and they've talked about it for a while. Yeah. So you see something
Okay.
blue and it's hard and it looks that aqua blue, you want to pick it up, put it in the bucket, and say, "Oh no, I'm gonna wait and see what the value this is gonna bring."
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. We'll get. Make sure they have some buckets available. Let's see. Can you tell if there's something possibly negative happening at Burning Man this year? Is that one of those places?
Forgot where that's at. So because I don't go to those events.
I don't either. Mount Rainier is in Washington State. Thank you, Mel.
What's the event? Burning Man.
Burning Man is the event. Um, they might have to elaborate
Yeah,
on
because
that.
I'm not getting
It
any
kind of
energy behind it. I'm just getting it's an event. I don't feel anything negative.
okay. Let's see. Mathis is asking the firmament
Right.
light, the blue
Right.
light.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just see them all getting hit in the head, and they're like, "I got some big buckets. I don't care."
right. Uh, let's see.
You have gold, you have silver, and you know it's all on the ground. What do you think? Is there some above?
True.
Could be. Burning Man is a hippie
Okay.
fest. Yeah, that's always good.
There we go.
It's a good thing.
Thank you. Okay, Don's asking he says a silly question. I know you mentioned about the med beds, but the churches and these temples, where were they healing chambers / buildings before taken over?
Yes.
Their roofs are made with frequency,
Yes, that's
correct?
what they're saying on the top. And how you even see with some of the pyramids how light reflects and how sound would reflect through that too. There was another one tonight and I didn't have time to go through that one and translate that one down. But it has that the temple, and how sound
Mm-hmm.
carries through it, and then how what and that's that whole you see that demon that they can't take the sounds of the bells. Well, to listen
Yes.
to uh, the temples are being on that ground, or the vibration of that would affect them. I mean, because we're going back to ancient ways of healing in those formats. We're all going back to the ancestor ways of healing things naturally,
Mm-hmm.
and they hit all this because society and the bad guys wanted to control it. They wanted to make us sick so they could profit off of that. So the whole process of this is when that comes online, what they talk about the bells, and remember they talked about the horns and bells. You would hear
Mm-hmm.
different frequencies, and people are already hearing different sounds all over the world in this process. So it'd be interesting. You know how vibration, this is what's interesting, how vibration, it can, with some of that activations, for it to come from Earth, and probably seeing temples you haven't seen and wondering what that does. Does it shake that off? Does it show itself? Does it expose? Does it show you looking at temples that we have no idea that they're there, that were hidden?
Right.
Who knows? Maybe there's something in Canada that's coming along that they do not want.
Also possible.
We're going to get some messages tonight. You need to shut up. Too much. So yeah. So it's interesting. Very interesting.
right. Thank you. Let's see.
The one mountain, Shasta, I won't go near. Spirit told me stay the hell away from that mountain. Do not go near it. You might come in one person, you might come out another. Stay away
Oh,
from it.
yeah. Okay. Here's another one. Do you know what's happening inside the Mount Adams and James Gilead at the Esidi Ranch? I
Well,
don't know
this
if
is
I'm
the thing.
talking
Some
about
of
you, but
the native lands and stuff like that are going into an activation mode on their cells. So all this stuff in this process of vibration changing upon Earth, it's going to go into an activation mode. So this is the thing. James is about, again, his intentions are good. His intentions of what he does, he listens and he's in line to that. So I'm sure it's an activation process that's going on that he feels that's where it needs to be activated.
thank you. Someone's asking, what do you know about the golden compass? Anything on that?
They've never described that to me. Let me see. Give me a second. So what I see is that's not of the Earth process. It would be more of a dimensional process in a they're saying, well, the Lion's Gate, use that format. Um, so that wouldn't, they're saying it wouldn't work on this realm. It would not be for here in this
Okay.
3D realm. It would be in a higher dimension and an activation process for that.
Hmm.
But they all do also show something small in the center of it too.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Thank you. Uh, they're saying Mount Rainier is in Washington State.
Huh.
Do you have anything on that?
Nope. So, well, it's almost 2 hours.
Is it? Look at that. All right.
So we're going to have to shut it down at 2 hours. There's no way.
What would you like to do? What would you like to do?
Ring the bell, and then what's today? Today is Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday,
I'm really gonna have
the
to come back
12th.
on Thursday after I get some more information.
Okay.
So you need to be paying attention to Washington and Texas, and a lot of buses, and a lot of barriers, and the water,
Hmm.
and the sky, and the banks, in those areas.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you get you a new bell yet?
Not yet. I don't go out very much.
Right? Okay.
I don't, honestly.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna ring this bell so we can have the time
Thank you.
for the room. Bringing in the children to remember their
Okay.
sacrifice and what they've gone through and their heartache and their pain, their trafficking, and everything else they went through. Okay? Just before we go, um,
Mhm.
We just did a Chat GPT class. It went really well. It's the second, so I'm going to set up another one with that class. I had a lot of information, enlightening information, and then the normal sessions that I have for remote viewing and all that stuff. But like I said, a lot of formats that I'm changing and doing some different stuff. So you guys can check that out. And
It's on the website.
So everything's good. It's just been busy, busy, busy. Yeah, all the divorce stuff, paperwork, all that crap done finally, and it's done. Ugh.
That's it. Moving
Moving
forward.
forward.
Good. Okay.
So it's been an interesting subject. So I'll be translating the formats of the downloads into the format of 3D now. So I think they be more appreciative towards that direction and translating the information.
Not as cryptic.
Huh?
I think it helps because it's not cryptic.
Yes, it's very
It's
cryptic.
harder to understand
Yes.
it. Yes.
So, but I hope everybody pays attention to what's going on. Stay in the light and look at everything outside of where they want you to look. The target, the real target. What's going on? So, stay in the light. Good night, guys.